You got anything? Any final words, Gage? That is inspirational. Welcome to the Ball Stretchers Anonymous podcast. Today, I'm joined by my co-host Gage and Wyatt. You guys want to say hello? What the hell was that?
What was that?
Hello, asshole.
Gage got his nuts stepped on in the intro.
And
So in today's episode, we're doing another like cryptid conspiracy theory episode because that was like a fan favorite. Did probably the best out of any episode. So we're going to be talking about the Bermuda Triangle, the Alaskan Triangle. We're going to be discussing Bigfoot and aliens a little bit more, even though we talked about them in the last episode. We're going more into detail. And we got a few really interesting comments from a guy on YouTube named Music Life, and we're going to be discussing those a little bit at the end or during the topics. So we're going to You good, Gage?
huh?
What is
No.
your problem, pal?
I don't know.
All right, so we're going to talk about the time we pranked Gage. It was pretty fucking funny.
For you, asshole.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah, it almost... All right, so it started out one dark evening, very spooky, creepy.
Dude.
There was ghosts everywhere in Gage's house.
Yeah, always.
All right, so basically, Gage has never, like, until recently had my phone number listed under a name and didn't, like, have it memorized or anything. So, and he also didn't have Wyatt's either.
I had Wyatt's, actually, before that.
Well, then how did you not know it was him?
I didn't call him.
Oh, no, you did.
didn't
Oh, it was
call
me
It
and
was just
Delvin.
you.
It was me and Delvin.
Oh, yeah.
And then Wyatt, I got Wyatt on to, like, push the agenda more. So,
So explain this from the beginning.
me? I thought you said, okay. So, we were all chilling, playing games. Gage, being a dumbass like he is,
Fuck
raged,
you.
and I'm pretty sure he broke his keyboard that night or something, because he's gone through like 12 of them.
No, I went through mice, not keyboards.
Well, you've definitely broken keyboards before, pal.
I think one keyboard, and that was it.
That's one too many. So we weren't really playing games at this point because Gage had gotten pissed and got off, and it just wasn't fun playing like by myself or anything. So then our friend Delvin joins the call. We're all just talking. Out of the blue, I just get the idea to start fucking with Gage. So I just message him on my phone number, some weird ass cryptic shit. And it took him a while to respond to me, but after like an hour he responded. And he's like, who the fuck is this? Actually, I can pull up the text right now so I can read them off.
Do you still... I don't have it anymore.
I might. Oh, okay. So I said that wrong. So I actually called Gage twice. And...
Weren't you just doing, like, heavy-ass breathing into it?
Or, yeah, that and, like, nothing. And so you were, like, freaking out a little bit over in the call, so I told you to text them, hey, you forgot your jacket, want me to bring it over later to see, like, what they would say? And you said that to him, and then I responded with everyone. And then I just repeated your name over and over again. You told me to die. Basically, and then that's where, like, I had my friend Delvin text him some weird stuff, like his address, a picture of his house.
I don't think he had a picture of my house.
We had, like, no, we did. We had, like, something. I don't remember what it was, though. But we had, like, something like that. Then Gage has been in a few iffy relationships, so we were like...
Iffy is...
psychotic
a strong
relationships.
word. That's
So-
better.
We were kind of, like, hinting towards those to make it seem like it was, like, one of his ex-girlfriends or something fucking with him.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, after we sent him like his address and shit, this motherfucker was freaking out. And then we texted him, or because at this point I think you joined the call, Wyatt.
Yeah,
and you were
I
like,
remember you texted me and you told me to get on so I could make it more believable.
yeah.
So like I joined and like, I started pretending like I had no idea what was going on. I asked them for a whole rundown on the situation.
You're just being assholes.
Yeah, so basically we gave Wyatt the rundown. We're still texting Gage back and forth, but Gage wasn't really talking in the call because he was like kind of nervous or like freaking out or something. So then all of a sudden I had Delvin, our friend Delvin, text him like, we're outside your house or something. Literally at the fucking point we said that. I can't make this up. Perfectly timed. There was like a knock on his fucking house. Like exactly timed with that.
I think I remember we were in the call. You just texted him, "I'm outside your house," and I remember hearing his dog started barking outside. That was
that was it.
Yeah, no. There was still like you heard like noises or something outside. You heard there was something with that. You heard like a knock on your door or like a something. It was something. But there was like noises and his dog started barking.
As soon as that happened, Gage started freaking out, and we were all just trying to hold back our laughter because it was just so perfect.
You guys are just being assholes.
Yeah, Gage was fucking basically crying at this point.
I wouldn't go that far.
Gage here, he said he might have to go wake up his parents. I might even call the cops. And he left the call.
Literally, we were literally about to tell him it's a joke, and he just left. We can't get a hold of him.
Then we started worrying because like, what if he actually did just call the cops and like it's all just because it's prank. So then we kind of started worrying. Then we started texting him over and over again, trying to tell him it was just a joke, so then he doesn't go too far.
Yeah. Well, to summarize it, Gage woke his mom up. His dad didn't really give a shit.
My dad wasn't even home, I don't think. I don't know where the hell.
Or I think your mom might have texted him or something. I don't really think he cared or something. I don't remember. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
But all in all, Gage's mom got pissed. Not really. She thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, she thought it was funny for you. She was pissed at me.
Yeah.
'Cause I woke her up.
Yeah. Gage woke her up. Was about to call the police. Literally got in contact with him at the perfect time. So, yeah. Basically, the lesson you should take out of this is you should prank Gage all the time until he about calls the cops. And it's pretty funny. Okay. So now we'll...
Fucking assholes.
Why are we assholes, pal?
You're always assholes. Just be always assholes.
Give me an example.
You just fucking read one out, my guy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fucking asshole.
Alright, so now we're going to be talking about the Bermuda Triangle and the Alaskan Triangle. So, some pretty cool topics.
So, I'm pretty sure everyone already kind of knows about the Bermuda Triangle.
Definitely the Bermuda. You can go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The Bermuda Triangle is really popular. I'm sure everyone has heard about it, like Wyatt said. The Alaskan Triangle is nowhere near as popular. Like, I didn't know what it was at all until today, until Wyatt mentioned it. So, you guys will probably learn something new about the Alaskan Triangle today, at least. What were you gonna say, Wyatt?
No, pretty much just everything you said.
All right. So what would you guys want to start with, Bermuda Triangle or Alaskan Triangle?
I think we should talk over the Bermuda Triangle.
Wait, the Alaskan Triangle is like that, like Bigfoot thing or something like that. I've heard of the Bermuda Triangle. What the hell's the fucking?
Well, you'll hear about it in today's episode, Gage.
Well, no shit.
All right. So.
Asshole.
Hey.
Fuck
the
you.
Hell? So the Bermuda Triangle is like a small section of the North Atlantic Ocean near North America. And supposedly 50 ships and 20 airplanes, or around that, have mysteriously disappeared there with no trace.
Some of them military.
Yeah. Some of them commercial, like the one, what's it called? What's the one plane that disappeared there, like the really popular one?
Ooh.
Or flight something.
The only thing that I remember.
It's a flight. Okay.
Gage, shut the hell up, bro.
The only thing that I remember is the one story of squadron of military planes getting lost in there.
Weren't they P-51s or something like that?
It's actually Flight 19.
Yeah, they were.
Flight 19, one of like.
Yeah, Flight 19.
Had a bunch of passengers, no trace of them at all. Disappeared there, no trace. Yeah, you guys are right. There's a lot of like military ships. Most of the ships and like planes that have disappeared have been military, which honestly could definitely very well be explained by like enemies ambushing. But I feel like
you'd get a radio message out before that would ever happen.
Well, I mean,
it was World War II.
but...
It was World War II, wasn't it? Around the
No,
time?
I believe it was right after World War II, actually.
Then yeah, there would have been no one firing at American airplanes, especially that close to the Continental.
Exactly, there wouldn't have been in that area.
But let's just say there was. Even if there was, there would still be some trace eventually, or
the
something
only ships that would have been near the only ships that enemy ships that ever made it that close to the United States were German U-boats, and they didn't have those anti-air capabilities, at least not enough to take out squadrons of fighters.
Well, actually, for the squadron I'm talking about, I actually need to look into this. I forgot their name, but I don't believe they actually went missing, and there was actually accounts of them that they said they got so far out they managed to lose where they were, and like they couldn't tell what way was up, what way was down.
Yeah.
And that was all of them, not just one person. It's definitely the most renowned story, I believe, of the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, definitely. Very popular. So, what's her... Amelia Earhart was it... I don't remember. Yeah. I was thinking Pacific, but it's definitely the Atlantic. I'm looking at it right now. So, she went missing near the Bermuda Triangle, I believe, or that's what they think.
I believe it was the Pacific. Where she went missing.
She, really? Oh, yeah, you're right, Pacific. Huh. I don't know why this is saying Atlantic. Well, either way, that we could talk about that, though. That's kind of weird, too. So, we'll just summarize that then, I guess. She disappeared in the Pacific, apparently. Not near the Bermuda. The Navy concluded that her plane ran out of fuel, and she crashed into the Pacific and drowned. They never found any trace of her at all, no proof, no evidence or anything. So that's that.
It looks here that if she did crash, it was between Guam and she was heading towards Hawaii, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So a lot of coverage there, and there's been countless expeditions, and a lot of people have this belief that she'd crashed, and she actually crashed like partially on an island, and in some cases they have found some remains of stuff that she would be carrying at the time period, or even like human remains, but to know that it's her, I don't believe we'll ever find that evidence.
Yeah, I don't.
Especially if she was like still strapped into the aircraft. Down on the bottom.
I mean, it's very likely that she could have just crashed in the middle of the ocean, and.
I mean, there's a lot of some very small archipelagos between Guam and Hawaii, but the main chains of islands are just to the south. The only real islands between there are Johnston Atoll and Wake Islands. There's not a lot out there.
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking at what you're talking about, Wyatt. So they discovered, I I think in 1940, around that 1940, they discovered bones, but the forensic, like, DNA shit back then was nowhere near as it is now. Wouldn't have been able to prove anything. But in 2018, apparently the bones that were discovered on a Pacific island were proven to belong to Amelia Earhart or something. That a new forensic analysis claims.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that. But I didn't know if it was actually proven. So, if the bones on the island was proven, I wonder how it really shapes our whole idea of Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
I wonder if that points to the evidence of her crash landing and surviving, or crashing on the island and maybe crawling but not surviving it. There's a lot of possibilities with it, and I'd really like to get that evidence, you know?
Yeah, I honestly really think her story's very interesting. And hopefully
she was a talented pilot. And I believe she'd be able to survive a crash, especially if it was in the ocean.
maybe just, I don't know, technology back then around that era was just not the same. People didn't know
Garbage!
People didn't know as much about shit like that, the ocean, all that. So, who knows? If it was today, it would be different. I'm sure they would have found her. Or she would have survived. But can't be too sure. So, we could talk about Flight 19 in the Bermuda Triangle. So
yeah, let's get back to the Bermuda Triangle.
So, I'm gonna read the. So apparently, 27 people died on Flight 19, or are presumed to be dead because there was nothing ever found. So they can only just assume. So I'm looking at this thing that says, has any of Flight 19 been found? So it says in 1992, another expedition located scattered debris on the ocean floor, but nothing could be identified. In the 2000s, searchers expanded their search area farther east into the Atlantic Ocean, but the remains of Flight 19 have still not been confirmed found. So, yeah, there's really almost no information on that. Like they said, they found some scattered debris, but they weren't able to link it. Yeah, they weren't able to link it. Do you guys know anything about Flight 19?
Nope.
You know, I haven't really heard about much about the Bermuda Triangle in a long time, so I kind of forgot a lot of the information. But I remember hearing about it, but no details.
Yeah, there's never been anything, really. Let's see. How long has it been? Okay, actually, Flight 19 was 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers. But there was also, like, a commercial plane and an actual, like, fucking, like, an airport, whatever they're called. One that crashed there, too. But Flight 19 is the most known. That was December 5th, 1945. Again, around the time as Amelia Earhart, too. So that's weird. But like we were talking about, technology, erosion, all that shit, you never know. At this point, it'd be impossible, I feel like, to find either or any trace
I mean,
of
they
it.
thought it was going to be impossible to find Bismarck and HMS Hood, but they found them. They actually found out generally why Hood blew the fuck up.
So, I don't know anything about that, Gage, to be honest.
You have no idea what I'm talking about, though. That's the point.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I said that.
Have you heard of the Bismarck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that motherfucker sank a battle cruiser very, very quickly.
Nice.
And it was a
That's
massive morale killer to the British.
Sounds cool.
They sent a good portion of the British Navy to hunt that motherfucker down when they found it.
Yeah, I would have hunted down myself with my bare hands.
I don't blame you.
So I think we could probably go on to the Alaskan Triangle. Because I don't really know what else, unless you guys have anything else to add on to the Bermuda Triangle, other than it being, like, extremely mysterious. Nobody knows really anything about it. So, do you guys have anything to add on to it?
Nah.
What about you,
I
Walt?
don't believe so. I believe most information about it is truly known, and it's just kind of one of those mysteries that, while there's been some things here and there, it's not exactly something overly common, such as Bigfoot, where there's almost evidence. Not, I mean, there's a lot of area there, and a lot of travel would happen there.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be things that go missing and go wrong.
Exactly. So we'll head on to the Atlantic Triangle, or not Atlantic, Alaskan Triangle. So if you want to start that one off, Wyatt, or if you know anything about it, because...
Yeah, so the Alaskan Triangle is similar. It starts at Anchorage, and it kind of goes... It covers much of the inland of Alaska and further north. So, similar concepts. A lot of disappearances happen there. A lot of weird things happen there. And I don't know why, but to me the concept of the Alaskan Triangle has always been far scarier.
Yeah, because it's generally, like, not as big of an area as the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, you see, that's where you would be wrong, I think.
It's bigger, actually?
It's actually bigger.
Oh, wow.
I
didn't
mean,
know that.
Look at half of the states in the United States. The Alaskan Triangle is bigger than, say, I don't know, like West Virginia. Any state you can really think of, the triangle is bigger than that state. So that kind of gives you perspective.
Wow.
Where, if you would get lost out there, or weird stuff is happening and you're out there, you have to think about all that distance you would have to truly travel.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is the Alaskan Triangle isn't like waters, though, right? It's more land.
It's all land.
It's all land. Okay, yeah, so you would think, that's kind of what I meant, like, you would think that it'd be easier to find remains of stuff on land and shit. Like, I don't know, I just feel like if there was not something weird going on there, they would have found stuff, because it generally is only a certain amount of land it could be, and I feel like it'd be easier to find stuff there than it would be in, like, the Bermuda Triangle. What do you think?
Well, when I hear that, there's this good example here. See, in October of 1972, there was a private plane carrying a U.S. House Majority Leader, Hale Boggs. He was an Alaskan congressman. Oh no, I'm sorry. He was with an Alaskan congressman, and as a personal aide.
Yeah.
They were flying over the Alaskan Triangle, and the plane went missing without a trace. The most logical explanation would be crash landing. Of course, everybody would know where the location is. There's the flight records. They would know what direction they'd be heading.
Supposedly.
There has been search after search, and they have found no trace of them whatsoever.
Yeah, I see that right here. There's been nothing. And
it seems like they covered 32,000 square miles and found nothing.
Yeah, and apparently the effort in finding them was one of the largest efforts in history of, like, in U.S. history of, like, searching for anything, really.
Find them.
Huh? What are you talking about, Gage?
Anything and
It
everything.
seems that in the Alaskan Triangle, which this is very interesting, the missing person rate there is twice that of the national average.
So, another disappearance there. So one of the nation's largest disappearances of a military aircraft, actually, and a lot of their personnel occurred in that region. So a C-54 Skymaster, I'm sure Gage will know what that is, carrying a C-54 Skymaster.
Modern or old?
Gage, he knows what it is. It was carrying an 8-man crew, had 36 passengers. Left at 1 p.m. on January 26th. The airline made a routine radio check-in every 2 hours as it flew over a small town. The last communication, that's weird. That's worded really weird. But either way, they went disappear, or they went. What am I fucking saying, dude? They vanished.
Good question.
They vanished. There we go.
They died.
They just vanished. Mysteriously disappeared. That's, I think, what I meant. And there was thousands of volunteers on foot looking. There was search efforts from the U.S. and Canadian planes, but there was no trace ever found of the C-54 again. So it's another huge loss that you would think, like, would there be a trace of at least, but there's nothing. So
Yes, see, and there's been so much more there. There has been countless sightings of, like, Bigfoot-like creatures, small humanoid creatures.
like Yetis and stuff.
There's even been stories of some kind of, like, baboon-like creatures.
It's just me running around the woods, guys. Don't worry.
It's just Gage, yeah.
There has been countless stories in the Alaskan Triangle, more than there has been across the United States, it almost seems. Just in terms of how much and variety. Which I believe a lot of that could be chalked up to, Inuit legend, perhaps. But even then, it's just so odd that all that stuff happens. And I just feel as if we really forget about the Alaskan Triangle when it's such a big thing. All these missing things, all these
missing people.
Just everything that happens there, I feel like it's not talked about enough when it really should be.
Yeah, it really I actually agree.
Everyone here, I definitely recommend looking into it some more. It's really interesting. We might devote an entire podcast episode to it at some point, looking into
Aren't we
each
doing that right
individual.
No.
Well,
we're
talking about a few things today. But eventually we might go over all of it, go into each individual legend, perhaps.
Yeah. A lot of this episode and the last episode and whatever episodes we do after this where we talk about a few conspiracy topics or something, we will generally just gloss over them, give you the base idea, and in a future episode, we'll take these topics one by one and do a really detailed episode about it. So that's basically what this episode is, Gage, just glossing over stuff. So,
at least for the time being, I believe that's a good stopping point, perhaps, for the Alaskan Triangle. It's very basic, but, well, there's so much to talk about with it.
Yeah, there really is. So, we can head on to, once again, like I said, we did this in the last episode, the last conspiracy episode, but we're going to be talking about Bigfoot and aliens again, because there's a lot more information about them. Like we said, we generally could do an episode on these as well, just one by one, individually. So, you guys want to start off with Bigfoot, and then we'll head into the alien territory again? So, you guys got anything you want to start it off with?
Sure. I can give a bit of a rundown on I can give a rundown on Bigfoot, but after that, I'm gonna have to take my leave. I have things to go do today.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Awesome. We can cut this part out.
Okay.
Um. So yes, the legend of Bigfoot. We kind of talked about this before. The different types of Bigfoot. Maybe a little bit of his habitats, his behavior, and humans.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now we kind of want to talk about some theories about Bigfoot. And in our last video, we got a comment actually about this. When it goes very in depth about theories and stuff about Bigfoot, which I found very interesting, which I have heard parts of before. I really think it's worth talking about.
So he
I would like to say though that this comment was actually taken down.
Yeah,
if you look at the video, you can't see it.
Yeah, these comments, I can see them in our notifications. They're enabled. They're allowed to be viewed. Every comment is allowed to be viewed on our YouTube channel. And these ones have no trace that they're there. And it's kind of weird. But, so he commented two comments.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm gonna have to leave. But I believe that this is a good point for you guys to take off and explain this stuff.
Yeah. Me and Gage got this from here.
Do we, though?
I at least do, I guess.
I got you, bro.
Alright, so there went Wyatt. It's just me and Gage. The GOAT Gage.
Damn Skippy.
Greg. So, we'll start off with this comment, and I feel like you know probably a little bit more about Bigfoot than me, Gage. So, this guy, Music Life, I'm going to read this smaller comment word for word. So he says, I saw a couple videos on YouTube that mentioned Bigfoot actually having powers and being an interdimensional being, and either having the ability to morph into light orbs as they're seen sometimes before and after a Bigfoot sighting. Would you know, I think you talked about it at the beginning or before we started the podcast. Do you have anything that, like, you know about that stuff?
Most of that ties into the Alaska Triangle.
Really?
From what I've heard, I'm not very in tune with that aspect of Bigfoot.
So he claims in the other comment that, like, he wonders if Bigfoot, like the Bigfoots, all of them, are almost like aliens. And
yeah.
I kind of understand what he's saying. That would make the interdimensional being almost make more sense. Thinking of them as aliens. He goes a lot into a lot of detail in the first comment. Do you think the Bigfoots that people generally know, do you think they're like intelligent?
I would say yes, because they're staying very well hidden from a very high-tech society.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll ever know truly if, like, Bigfoots are 100% real?
You could ask the same question about, aliens, for example.
That's true.
But I guess some scientists over in, I believe, Europe have stated we are, according to them, very likely to find proof of intelligent alien life within the next 25 years.
Uh-huh. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, it was fairly... I follow... When it comes to science stuff, it's more space and nuclear fusion related.
Yeah, so the Bigfoot is kind of like just an iffy topic to talk about. I definitely think aliens have a lot more you can say. So, if we're taking it as Bigfoot's a type of alien, then that's whether you want to take it as that or not. Generally, your opinion. So we'll just head on over to the alien topic now, I guess. And so did you hear, Gage, that a few days ago or maybe a week ago that the U.S. government claimed they had more UFO footage, but...
the Navy confirmed that they actually had UFO footage but wouldn't release it due to national security issues.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Because the term UFO doesn't necessarily mean aliens. UFO can mean... True. It literally means unidentified object. So it could be foreign technology, because I don't know where most of it has been happening. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm right, and I don't know if I am, so don't quote me, it's usually in the Pacific. So if it's in the
Yeah.
Pacific, the only person who's very threatening towards the United States out in the Pacific is China.
Mm-hmm.
And China has extremely high-tech industries, more so than America does. So
Really?
it could be Chinese fighters we don't know about, Chinese scouts.
But then again,
I mean,
it could also mean aliens. You never know. It
yeah, it could.
It could mean anything, really.
Yeah. It's a UFO doesn't just mean aliens. It's a very broad term.
So, do you believe in parallel universes?
I'm not entirely sure when it comes to parallel universes. I mean, I think it'd be cool, but I just can't think of their actual proof.
So, yeah, I don't think it's been proved ever, but there's a lot of scientists that claim it's a really high likelihood that it's a real thing. So I was talking about this in one of the last episodes. That means if there are parallel universes, that would mean aliens exist because there'd be different versions of us. So that would mean they're alien to us. So then no matter what, then aliens would exist if there are parallel universes. Guaranteed. Smart, intelligent aliens because they'd be us, but not. So what do you think about that?
It's an interesting, doing stuff like that is it's an interesting thing because it's a very so far philosophical kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Or a theorized thing like quantum mechanics. I believe that's a theorized thing. I don't know if it's actually been put into practicality yet, but.
Mm-hmm. So, what I don't know if I feel like I asked you this before, but you believe in some sort of alien, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there just has to be aliens out there with the millions and millions of other universes.
We went most of the exoplanets we have found, because we have thousands of them found now. Most of them that we have found, almost in their entirety, have been found since 1995.
Well, actually, also, based on that, even in our universe, you hear that the other day, NASA's Perseverance rover found organic matter on Mars, which scientists claim is a really high likelihood that that's proof of life, almost.
Yeah, I mean, we have found bacteria and stuff on other planets, but what everyone's really looking for is the intelligent life.
Yeah. I think there's some form of intelligent life out there.
Whether it's behind our technology or ahead of it, who knows?
Or even evenly matched with us, could be.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure there's some other form of life in our universe alone, but you gotta think, with the millions and millions of universes there's gotta be something out there.
Yep.
Why would, however, we were created happen only once out of the millions and millions of chances?
Exactly.
It's just not reasonable. If you guys are watching this podcast and you don't believe in there's some form of alien out there, or semi-intelligent beings,
don't say they're stupid.
I'm not gonna say they're stupid. I'm saying you should just look into it more, because there's no reason why you shouldn't believe that. It's actually so close-minded to think that it's not a possibility even. I don't know. I really like aliens, so not like I'm interested in the ideas of them.
He's interested in them aliens, guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Give me an alien. Never mind. Never mind. So I think that might be a wrap on our conspiracy stuff. So, Gage, I think you had some topics you wanted to talk about, maybe some smaller topics the other day you messaged me.
Did I?
I think you messaged me and said some stuff like why houses burn so easily or some shit.
Why houses burn so easy? Yeah! This bullshit!
Yeah.
It's fucking
yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah,
It
it's bullshit.
me off.
It pisses him off.
So, I'm currently going through fire academy, learning to become a firefighter. And one of the first things we went over was building construction and fire behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we learned just why buildings are so goddamn flammable. And it's annoying. It's stupid.
Why are
It's
they
actually
so flammable,
stupid.
Gage?
So 15 years ago, this is the most interesting part to me. 15 years ago, if your house lit on fire, that thing would take forever. Like, your couch would burn for half an hour. Now it takes... And it doesn't produce a lot of smoke either. Like, I can directly see the fire from the other side of the room. But nowadays, there's so much smoke produced because of the synthetics that go into construction. Because everything's going synthetic because, it's cheaper. And it's
It really
stupid.
grinds your gears, doesn't it, Gage?
Yes, it grinds my goddamn gears. But, it's gotten to the point because the modern way of doing floor joists, like the joists that, of course, hold the floor up, especially if you have a basement.
Yeah.
The floor joists are 2x4s with a groove in them about as thick as 2 fingers. The only thing between those joists is OSB, which is wood chips held together by glue. That glue melts at 200 degrees. And if your basement's on fire, fire burns a hell of a lot hotter than 200 degrees. The buildings where that kind of floor joist is present, firefighters are lucky to see the homeowner get out alive at that point.
Wow.
Like, it's so fast to collapse. And I mean, it's the same way with roofs. Roofs are so unstable now under fire condition. A lot of departments don't even put firefighters on roofs unless they absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we even learned that smoke, all this black stuff, that's actually flammable. That smoke isn't just, smoke. It's actually flammable. Smoke itself can light on fire.
Really?
And when smoke lights on fire, it indicates you're very close to flashover. I'm hoping I got all this right, because if I don't, and one of my instructors listens to this, I'm gonna get bitched out on Monday. But it's an indicator of what's called flashover.
Yeah.
And when flashover occurs, fire can be rolling up the side of your wall and doing the rolling on the roof. And there's you got your carpet and stuff on the other side of the room on the ground. Well, it'll start off-gassing through a process called pyrolysis. And you'll actually see smoke coming off of your carpet and stuff without fire being anywhere near it. And when it flashes over, it goes from there's a fire in the room to your room is on fire, and the fire will jump from the roof to the floor. So everything in that room is on fire. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's burnable, it's probably on fire now. There's about 2 to 3 seconds of safe time to get out. After 2 or 3 seconds, if you're still in there, you probably already got cooked.
Damn.
Because the smoke where it sits above that smoke line is called the neutral plane, I believe. But when everything above that is about 1200 degrees, and everything under it is still 300 to 400 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So when that smoke's up there, up in the smoke, it's called convection, where it just moves around up there. But it also radiates a lot of heat down, and the heat is so intense. Your turnout gear protects you from conduction and stuff like that, but radiation heat goes right through turnouts. So if you even start to feel warm in your turnout gear, likelihood is you've probably already got first-degree burns. It's just that hot.
So if you guys didn't know, Gage is actually training to become a firefighter, right?
Yeah.
What do you do, now?
A lot of what we are doing is bookwork.
Bookwork. Do you, do janitor shit or something right now at the moment?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Usually when we go out, we will be in a classroom at the fire department we train at. And we go through chapters and stuff like that, PowerPoints. It's like regular high school stuff, but it's fire related. You take some tests every once in a while. Every once in a while, we get lucky and we'll have simulations. Like one of the instructors, we did a flash or a backdraft simulation. He got scarily excited every time he got it to backdraft. I think he's an arsonist, but
I would say anybody who becomes a firefighter is an arsonist, Gage.
yeah, job security.
Yeah.
But
So let's get a round of applause for Gage.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you get.
okay, fuck you, then, asshole.
Dude, nobody at home is gonna clap. So
Yeah,
I
no shit.
had to give you one. I had to give you a clap, Gage.
Yeah, thank you.
Give you a pat on the
You're a real
back.
homie.
Hell yeah.
You're a good friend.
Is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we end the episode? Then, any other topics?
If it's gonna be anything, it's fire related. So okay. Oh, we saw a video. If you haven't heard of Fire Department Chronicles, I do recommend him. He's funny as shit. There was a video. It was a lot of the times that like fast food restaurants catch on fire. It starts in the fryer. Well, you can't mix the water and deep fryer oil because it flames up and spreads everywhere. Well, a lot of these businesses will have built-in like extinguishers, so that if you look up into the hood, you should see like what look like sprinklers up above the hood. And they don't spray water, of course. They spray a foam that'll neutralize the fire because it's a Class K fire.
Yeah.
And they have, levers around them. You can pull it and it activates it. Or they have actual Class K fire extinguishers somewhere nearby. Well, the video showed someone decide to go fill a bucket full of water, completely ignore all those safety systems, and toss it in the fryer.
Mm-hmm.
And just torch the place. So if you're gonna do cooking with deep fat fryers, get a fire extinguisher that is Class K, because most extinguishers are only A, B, and C. So they do A is the regular stuff. C is electrical. B is more for flammable liquids. So some cooking liquids, oils, gas, kerosene, stuff like that. K is your heavy duty kitchen stuff. So it's a wet chemical fire extinguisher. K is they use alkaline mixtures, potassium acid, potassium carbonate, stuff like that, and it'll cover whatever oil or grease is on fire, just smothers it. But definitely have a Class K if you're going to be cooking, and if you work in a fast food industry, know the safety measures so you don't actually burn your place of employment to the ground.
All right. Well, that was safety tips with Gage. Dude, we should do that every episode. That's funny. Safety tips with Gage. Gage, you could be saving lives out there just by telling people that. All this stuff. Generally, you could be. So that's a bonus point for you, Gage. Saving a life. So I think that's probably where we're gonna end off today's episode. Episode 7. Podcasts are flying by, going nuts. Make sure you guys check out BSAPodcast.com. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts. What's that? What else was there? There's a lot more. We're basically on every platform. Just look for us on everything. Check out our YouTube channel, BSA Podcast. Check out BSA Plus. Get shorts, funny content other than that. Follow us on Twitter at BSA Podcast. Our TikTok at BSA Cast. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode. You got any final words, Gage? That is inspirational. All right, see ya.